Wow. Man, that's a nice fish. Wow. What a strike. Bam. That was 14 feet deep on an orange trolling fly. 1.8 miles an hour. Oh yeah. Right there. Whew. Look at those big, beautiful rainbows. That's what trolling flies can do. You think trolling flies don't work? Well, think again. You need to grab a set of my trolling flies, get out on the water, and get ready to go big. Yes. Howdy guys, Kel Kellogg here. I got an interesting viewer question that actually has kind of a tip embedded in it. So the question comes from Tom Alexander down in San Mateo, California, and he referenced the clip you saw in the beginning of this video. He asked me, why do you pedal when you hook a fish? Why do you pedal hard when you hook a fish? And you saw me do that in that clip. You know, I hooked the fish and I got on the pedals. And what you find out, real quick in a kayak, especially if you're trolling with two rods, is you've got to be able to do multiple things at the same time. Job one when you hook a fish is always keeping the line tight. If you let slack develop in the line, you got a much higher chance of losing the fish you've hooked. But in the kayak, you've got to fight the fish and you've got to do other things too. You've got to be on the rudder to keep the kayak going straight if you got that second rod in the water. You got to grab the net, get the net in position to net the fish and stuff like that. So the kayak becomes an extension of your body, much more so than a power boat. So when I'm not on the reel, I get on the pedals, and that's just the way that I ensure the line stays tight. And you'll see me pedal throughout the entire fight, and that's important too. It's hard to net fish in a kayak. A lot of times if you go dead in the water, and bad things can happen. The fish can, even if you're fishing with one rod, the fish can go under the kayak and get in the pedals. The fish can get, too far back behind you. The fish can kind of do whatever he wants if you're just dead in the water. You've got much more control and a much better chance of landing the fish if you keep forward momentum in the kayak. I always want that fish, if I hook the fish on a rod where I could fight the fish off the left or the port side of the kayak, I always want that fish coming in tired, and I want him coming in off my left shoulder. I want to see the fish. I want to kind of gauge the temperament of the fish. Is he tired? Does he still have fight left in him? How well is he hooked? Stuff like that. And then I want to maneuver that fish into the sweet spot where I could scoop him with the net. And I want that all playing out off my left shoulder as much as possible. I've got a mental zone where I want that fish to be when he approaches the kayak. And one of the ways I ensure that, happening is by keeping forward momentum by working the pedals. Also, forward momentum, it puts pressure on the line if the fish starts doing crazy stuff, head shaking, or takes a hard crescent-shaped run or something like that. And that water pressure, it encourages the hook to stay in place. It's just another way of keeping the line tight. Water pressure against that line keeps the line tight. And again, slack is bad. Slack allows fish to throw a hook like nothing else. So all those factors combined are why I keep pedaling. Now, in a power boat, you can't really goose a power boat on the strike like that because you don't have that fine sensitivity that I have with my pedals. I'm really in tune with the craft when I'm sitting in my kayak. With a boat, you've got a tendency to give it too much gas and put too much pressure on the fish, and that can be bad too. But when you're in a power boat, you could do all that with the reel because you're not doing all these other things. You're not reaching back for the net, and you're not on the rudder, and you're not doing all kinds of stuff like that. So use the reel. But I would encourage you to keep the boat moving forward. Now, if you're power trolling, you're going 3 miles an hour on the strike, slow down to 1 mile an hour. But that forward momentum, it's your friend. It helps you control the fish. It helps you keep the fish in the zone you want the fish in when it comes time to net the fish. And it keeps that all-important water pressure on the line, and that encourages the hook to stay in place, and all that adds up to more landed fish at the end of the year. And when you get that trophy trout on there, you're going to know exactly what to do. You're going to stack the odds in your favor, and it's just going to help you, be holding up that big old fish in the hero shot at the end of the fight. I'm Kel Kellogg. I'm signing off. I hope you find this information useful. I hope I answered your question, Tom. If you're looking for trout gear, you know where to go. Go on over to fishhuntshoot.com. I want to thank you guys for all the support. I will catch you again right here on YouTube real soon. I'm Kel Kellogg. You have a great day.